Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Semash Academy webinar on how to get a job in digital marketing with no experience. My name is Aga Sikora. I'm from the Semash Academy, and I'm thrilled today to welcome our expert and guest, founder and CEO of Girls in Marketing, Olivia Hanlon. Hi, Olivia.
Hi, Aga. Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
I am so excited to be here. Thank you for having me. My name is Olivia Hanlon, and I am the founder and CEO of Girls in Marketing. So, Girls in Marketing, we are a learning provider and a community for marketers, specifically women, but not entirely for women. And we help women build careers that they love through learning, through training. We also have a podcast. So, if you love podcasts, definitely check that out. And yeah, we help women feel more confident and elevated in their career through a variety of resources and training opportunities. And I've been doing it since 2019. So I started as a community when I was working full time in SEO and content. And then I quit my full time job in SEO and content in 2020. And I went freelance, and I also decided to grow Girls in Marketing as a business. And then now we are 5 years later into the community, 4 years into business, and I absolutely love it. That's a little bit about me.
Thanks, Olivia. We're really, really big fans here at Semash Academy of Girls in Marketing. Let me see. I have the first question from Daria on LinkedIn. Here's the question. Hi, Olivia. Thank you for the webinar. I've got a LinkedIn related question. My LinkedIn profile looks almost empty as I have no work experience and hardly any connections. How can I sell myself with such a profile? Most of job postings nowadays ask to include a LinkedIn profile, and I'm embarrassed to have almost no connections. What's your advice?
So we all have to start somewhere. And don't worry that you don't have anything on your profile right now. We all start somewhere. So the first thing that I would say is you want to start posting on LinkedIn about your experience. You don't have to be a thought leader in the industry to post what you think about campaigns, about the work that you've done, about the strategies that you've implemented, or how you've helped maybe like local businesses or local charities. You don't have to be a thought leader in order to post on LinkedIn. What I would also say is really build those connections up as well, because the fact that you said you've got no connections, for me, that's a red flag. You need connections and you need to be sending them out to people, connecting with people. This will really improve your network, and it will allow you to ultimately see the world of marketing when you have more connections. So a really good example of this is our head of creative, Kira Penny. So she was in university. She was doing a degree apprenticeship with us. So she was working at the same time as learning and studying for her degree. And she really wanted to post on LinkedIn, but she was in a similar place to Daria here, who hasn't posted and has an empty profile. And she was kind of a bit not really sure on what she should do. So she started posting about the campaigns that she was doing, about the things that she was involved with, and also about the things that she'd learned from her degree and being at university, the different theories that she'd learned, all the different teachers that she'd been talking to, advice that she'd been given. And over the last few years, since she's been doing that, she's built up her profile, she's built up her network. She now goes on podcasts, she does talks. She is absolutely amazing, and she's created so many opportunities for herself. So I think the first thing I would say, and the overall thing for this question really, is to ultimately start posting, start connecting with people, and just start building that network, because that's the most important thing that you can do. And it feels scary and overwhelming at first, but actually it is the best way to go, I would say.
Super. Thank you, Olivia. Before we jump into, we have more questions from LinkedIn coming in. We've got a question from Joy Hain. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. From Clayton College and State University. I'm a college professor teaching a digital marketing degree. What's the best advice, guidance I can provide to my students?
I think the best thing, I mean, we cover this in the SEMrush Academy course, so definitely go and check that out. But a big thing is to create your own opportunities. So reach out to local businesses, talk about how much that you know in marketing. Even if you don't know that much, connect with as many people. I really believe that networking is the best way that you can build up your career. So I think as a student, any advice that I would give to students is to build up that network as much as possible, whether it's online, so it's through LinkedIn and personal branding and posting, or even if it's in person. Going to in-person events is so valuable for young people and students. When I meet young people and students who want to be in marketing at events, that shows to me that they are super motivated, really enthusiastic, and I love that. So that is the best thing I would say, because there's so many students that don't go to in-person events, and it really puts them at a disadvantage when they get into the workforce.
Super. Thanks, Olivia. We've got a question from Renata from Warsaw. Hello, I'm Renata from Warsaw. As a marketer and business owner yourself, what's the most important thing you look at when you hire junior people?
Okay, so there are a few things here, and I've probably already just mentioned them in the last question, but I'll repeat it anyway. I think the main thing for me is some sort of track record of doing cool things. It doesn't have to be working in marketing. It can just be going out of your way to be amazing in some way. So I think some sort of proven track record that they have went above and beyond. Another thing is to be enthusiastic about the brand. So when I'm hiring young people or junior people, oftentimes they don't have the experience that senior people do, but they have the enthusiasm, they have that motivation. And also, a big thing is understanding of the brand. So when you go to an interview and you are a young person or a junior person, make sure you know as much as you possibly can about the industry that your brand is in, and also the company itself. You won't know everything possible, but know as much as you can. So for example, whenever I've hired in the past for Girls in Marketing, it's always really nice if people have listened to our podcast and maybe in the interview they say, I really love this episode with this person, or I really enjoyed this thing that you did, or this post that you did. That shows to me that they are engaged with the brand. So that's another thing that I would say. And as I said before, the main thing for me is willing to go out of your way. So as a young person, as a junior person, make sure that you are going out of your way to actually show how enthusiastic and motivated you are to get a role. So they're the main things I would say to do.
Super. And let's move to some questions from the chat. We've got a question from Hector Chikomba. Hi, my name is Hector. I'm starting my small digital marketing agency based in Zimbabwe. Hi, Hector. And I'm launching 1st of July. Can I use my experience from running my small business to get a job later?
Yes, definitely. This is something that I have spoken to so many people about. And I think a lot of people don't use running a small business as experience, but it really is. And not just from a marketing sense either. The fact that you are running a small business, you're running an agency, you are client side. So you are speaking to clients all the time, you are doing the work, hopefully, implementing these strategies, you are navigating those stakeholders. So you're talking to clients, you're navigating those meetings. There is so much experience that you can gain from having a small business. And I would definitely say putting that on your CV is the best thing that you can do to get a role. The only thing that I would say with that is when you are creating your resume or your CV, to apply for jobs later, I wouldn't necessarily call yourself a founder. So I wouldn't say founder of digital marketing agency. I'd call yourself a specialist or something similar. So rather than saying founder of digital marketing agency, say marketing specialist at digital marketing agency. And then in the bullet points, you can say that you owned or you founded it. But instead of putting it in the title, it gives you a bit more credit for the fact that you were the specialist in the organization that obviously is your own. Sometimes putting founder can potentially put larger businesses off because they want people who are specialists, and you are a specialist. So that definitely is the best thing that I would say to do.
That's a great advice from one founder to another. We've got another one in the chat from Felix. Hi, Felix. Hi, Olivia. I'm a music content creator who wants to cut to music marketing in my career. I recently completed a digital marketing bootcamp. I don't have direct marketing experience though. How can I differentiate myself in digital marketing job applications on my cover letter? How can I attract the hiring manager's attention? Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the question. I think it goes back to what we were talking about earlier on, which is very much about creating your own opportunities. So going out of your way to try and create experience for yourself that maybe you haven't actually had before. You don't have to be in an office job working from 9 till 5 every single day to have experience. In fact, if you are able to create it for yourself, this is great. So the fact that you said you're interested in music marketing, okay, so are there any small local music bands that you can ask, do they have a social media presence? Do they have a TikTok account? Do they have Instagram or anything like that? Reach out to go to local events with local bands, with local singers, and ask them if they have anyone doing their marketing for them. I'll be honest, you probably won't be paid for this, but it's great experience for you to just put onto your CV. So, for example, even my brother, he has a band, he's 18, him and all of his friends have a band and they have some songs. So if that was me, I'd reach out. I know he's my brother, but you could do it for any case if you go to these events and say, hi, like, I'd love to know if anyone does your social media. And if they say, no, then obviously you can volunteer and say, I'd love to do it for, 2 or 3 months or something. And then that's great experience for you. And you can obviously work with those local bands. It really helps those bands get further on. The singers and bands get the opportunities they want, but it also helps you in your music marketing career as well.
Super. Thanks, Olivia. We've got a question on Instagram. Olivia, what's the easiest job to get into in digital marketing if you have no marketing experience? I want an easy advice.
I would say that social media is probably the easiest field to initially get into with digital marketing. Either social media or copywriting or writing in general, because you can create your own channel and you can showcase your experience. So, for example, if you're really interested in growing a career on TikTok or growing a social media marketing career, start your own TikTok channel. Do you have a hobby, something that you love? Maybe you love reading, or you like fitness, or you like running. Create a social media account dedicated to that hobby. And because you love the hobby and you love social media, then the two go hand in hand perfectly. So I would say the easiest job to get into with digital marketing right now is social media and copywriting, because the other thing that you could do if you don't love social media and putting your face out there, which I know a lot of people don't enjoy putting their face out there, and that's totally fine. So instead, you could start a blog. So just go on to something where you can start a free blog, and there are tons of websites out there, and just start writing stuff that you love. I had a blog when I was 13 and I wrote about fashion and beauty and all stuff that I don't necessarily like right now, but I loved at the time. And that brought me so many opportunities and meant that I created blogs for other people, which then led on to building a career in content, which then led to SEO, and then has led me to where I am right now. So creating your own social media channel or copywriting and creating a blog is really a good way to be, I would say.
Super. Thanks, Olivia. Another question coming, Olivia, is from Erica. I'm regularly recruiting entry-level digital marketers for my team, and especially with greener candidates. A resume often doesn't tell the full story since a candidate's experience may be very limited. How can I identify some of the best and brightest entry-level candidates to give the right individuals a shot? Thank you, Erica, first of all, for being here and asking those questions. This is probably what those entry-level candidates are wondering themselves.
Yeah. I think if you are a hiring manager, so if you are looking to hire people, I think whilst asking for the resume or the CV is really important, I also think if you can create something that they can do to apply as well, this will really help. So I've seen a lot of people recently asking people to create a 1 minute video of them talking to the camera, straight to camera, about 3 things they love about marketing, for example, or maybe 3 things they love about the industry, or all of those sorts of things. In that video, it literally takes 1 minute of their time to record and send over with their CV or with their resume. But this gives so much character to who they are, and it shows the face behind the person. So even if you are not a hiring manager and you are a junior person, just going a little bit above and beyond can really make the difference. I was speaking to an amazing girl the other day, and she was interviewing for her first role. So she's done a degree and she's done a master's degree, and now she wants to get her first role in digital marketing. She has been unemployed for 9 months, and she's been looking for 9 months, and she's not had any luck at all. So I went over a CV with her, we checked it all out, we did some edits, and then she's now had a few different interviews, and she's got to the second stage of her interview, which is amazing. And they asked her to create a bit of a content document around social media. And she sent it over to me to have a quick look at it, to see what I thought of it. And what I said to it was, it's lacking personality. So it's not showing who you are and why you're good for the role. It's just very plain, very simple. So the best thing that I would say, and the best thing that I would say, is if you can personalize something, please do it, whether it's a quick video of yourself. So let's say you send over your resume, maybe send over a quick video as well saying, hi, I'm Olivia, I'm so-and-so, I've got this experience. I was absolutely love this opportunity because XYZ. And just send that over, even if people aren't asking for it, because that's the best type of people who go above and beyond for the roles that they really want. You might not have to do it for every single role, but for the really special ones, I would say do that.
Super. Thanks for sharing that story, Olivia. And let's go to the next question from Alexandra. I'm interested to get into marketing. I have experience from running social media accounts for a few years, but everyone either wants work experience or a marketing degree. How can I get into marketing without a degree or work experience?
Okay, so the fact that you have experience running social media accounts, I would say that's experience in itself. I think this could be potentially the way that you have it on your CV. So have a look at your CV and make sure that you are putting your experience in the best way possible. If I see a lot of CVs where the people haven't actually said, this is the experience that I have, the fact that you have a few years of experience running social media accounts, that is work experience. It's not experience in an office environment or even in any, a professional environment. That doesn't matter. The fact that you have the experience with those social media accounts is amazing. It's just how you put that on your CV. So I would have a look at your resume, have a look at how you are portraying that specific that role under the social media marketing that you've been doing for those companies or those people, and make sure that you are in the best way possible portraying that experience, because that's the biggest thing that I see for a lot of people.
Super. We've got the results from the poll. What's the biggest blocker in finding a job in marketing today? What's your biggest blocker? 53% of all our viewers said is lack of experience. It's followed, unsurprisingly, by I don't know how to say myself well by 38%, and 7% answered no degree certification. So there is definitely, that's why we're here, right? Lack of experience and not knowing how to sell yourself. So again, we strongly encourage you to check out the free course we published with Olivia and Samarj Academy last week. It's an amazing course. Will empower you. There's lots of tips. There's best certificates. There's platforms where to check out for remote marketing jobs. There's an interview with a LinkedIn influencer as well, who will give that really practical advice how to pump up your LinkedIn profile. So there's a ton of information. The course is just under 1 hour. So you might want to check that as well. Super. Let's go to the next question, Olivia, and from Patrick. Hello, the problem I face is that most of the jobs require at least 2-3 years of experience for entry-level positions. How can I get the experience if no one offers the opportunity? So it's like the vicious cycle for all entry-level.
Yeah,
basically.
this is true. I think, I'll be honest, Patrick, this is more of an issue with the people posting the roles than it is with you. The fact that it's an entry-level position, they should not require people to have 2 to 3 years of experience. The only advice really that I could give for this, I speak to a lot of employers and I tell a lot of employers off for being very naughty because they post 2 to 3 years of experience and they shouldn't be for entry level roles. But what you can do as an individual and as someone looking for the roles is apply for them anyway. There's nothing that you can do that will be without your favor. This is the best thing you can do. Just apply for the roles. Even if it says 2 to 3 years of experience, just apply anyway, because even if you do get rejected, at least you still applied and you still tried. There are tons of people and employers that I speak to on a daily basis that say that they would hire someone if they seen that they were motivated, enthusiastic, understood the brand, even if they didn't have 2 to 3 years of experience. So I would say still apply for the roles, even if it says to have that experience, especially if it is leveled as a entry role. So making sure that it's not a role that's asking for kind of 10 to 15 years of experience. If it's only asking for 2 to 3, then you can definitely apply for that.
Great. Thanks, Olivia. From Alexandra, following up my question from earlier, if the social media accounts that I run were my own and not someone else's, can I still add the experience to my CV?
100%. You can call yourself a content creator. You can call yourself a social media manager. You can call yourself any of those things. And as long as you are open and honest with the people that interview you, then it's fine. I recently, within our Girls in Marketing membership, we do one-to-ones with people and I speak to tons and tons of different people. And what's great is I actually did a one-to-one with a girl who she said, I'm a primary school teacher and I want a career change into marketing. So I've never been in marketing before. I don't have any marketing experience at all. And I'm a teacher, so I want to get into marketing. So he said, what can I do? So similar to what you're saying, what can I do? And when I did a bit of digging, I realized, and what she said to me was that she had her own YouTube channel and she has an Instagram account, and they were about her love for Disney. So she loves Disney, Disney World, Disneyland, and she loves going and traveling there. And she has a blog about it, and an Instagram account, and a YouTube channel. But she's never worked in marketing. And I said to her, why is that not on your CV? You need to call yourself a content creator, a social media content creator, and blog writer. And as soon as she put that onto her CV, and it was at the very, very top, she started getting interviews, and she actually got her first marketing job a few weeks ago that she started. And she was a teacher, so she didn't really have any experience. The only experience she had was running her own YouTube, blog, and Instagram account. And because she had all of the metrics and she had all of the analytics, she put it on her CV. She called herself a social media content creator and blog writer, and she got interviews and she got a role. So you can definitely, if you are running your own channels, don't worry about that. It still classes as experience. You just need to be honest with the interviewers at that stage. So once you've got through the hurdle of getting the interview, when you're talking to them, don't pretend that it's someone else's account. You can say, oh yeah, so I create content for my own channels. These are all the different things that I do. These are the results that we've had so far. So that's the best thing that I would say.
Thank you. Next question is from Jamie or Yami Orlando. What if you have several years of experience but no degree? How should I position myself, and what career level is the cap with no degree?
So I think having no degree doesn't matter. I'll be completely honest. I think having several years of experience is amazing. I wouldn't say having a degree is the be all and end all. You don't have to have a degree to be in marketing. So I think in your resume, make sure that you are focusing as much as possible on the experience rather than on education, because if you don't have a degree, obviously you can't talk about it. So make sure you focus as much as possible on the experience.
Cool. Let's go back to the questions from social. We have Anna from Barcelona. Hello. Hola. What's the best marketing advice you were given in your life?
I would say that if your brand speaks to everyone, that you speak to no one. And that is the biggest thing for me. I see so many brands that I say, who is your target audience? And they say, everyone. And I say, well, you're speaking to no one, because you need to have a specific niche of who you're talking to so that you can talk to those people. So the best thing that I would say is if your brand is speaking to everyone, you are speaking to no one.
That's a great one. I suppose that's the success of that advice in your community, Olivia, right?
Yeah.
Super. Let's go to the next one. There's a question from Nicole. Hi, Olivia. I'm a marketing manager for a local business. I have a journalism background and a lot of my journalism skills cross over with marketing, but I feel like there's a marketing knowledge that I'm missing out on and not having a marketing degree. What certifications would you recommend to learn more about digital marketing? That's a great one. And we get it all the time at the Academy as well.
Mm-hmm. So I would say, obviously, all of your journalism background is amazing. I wouldn't say that there are any certifications that I could pick out that are great for that sort of thing. I just think choosing courses that are fit for the experience that you need. So with a journalism background, you probably have good writing skills. You probably understand maybe PR potentially, all of that sort of thing. But you may be lacking in, let's say, SEO or in content marketing. So find the courses that specifically focus on that. A big thing that I would say that you really want to lean into is AI. That is definitely something that so many people need to lean into. I know there's an AI course in the SEMrush Academy, so if you haven't checked that out, definitely do. There are tons of certifications out there, but I wouldn't say that any are better than the other. I think it's just about finding what you need, an area that you really want to get into or that you really enjoy, and maybe a skill that you lack potentially, and really focusing in on that.
Super. Thanks, Olivia. Let's hop on to another question. Olivia, where's the best place to do an internship? Question from Daniel in Ireland.
Okay, so I think with internships, it's a bit of a difficult one. There are tons of internships out there, but the best thing that I would say, we actually have a digital marketing internship program with Girls in Marketing that we run in September. So we are currently going to run this in September coming up. So go and register your interest on our website. That is the Girls in Marketing Digital Marketing Internship Program. It's 3 days of learning, and you can put it on your CV as something that you've done. And it's a great experience. You get involved with the community. You get to listen to sessions from amazing experts in the field. So it's a really great thing to do. But I think when it comes to internships, physical internships, the best thing that you can do is go on LinkedIn and find the best places that are maybe hiring or they're looking for people, and asking them if they would be willing to give you an internship or willing to allow you to do some work experience or come in, for a few days or something like that. There aren't really many internship places. So I wouldn't say there are any websites that you can go to, unfortunately, or anything that I can kind of think off the top of my head. So the reason that we created the internship program was because there aren't many places that you can do internships. But the best thing that I would say is to get involved with that, and also connect with people on LinkedIn and start messaging some people to see if they would be willing to offer an internship for the summer or for a few months or even a few.
Thank you, Olivia. I'm going to move to a question from LinkedIn. What was your biggest marketing mistake as you were starting as a junior marketer?
I don't know if this is a marketing mistake, but I think the big thing for me was not believing in my own abilities, because as a young person in the industry, I thought that marketers were, it was such a stressful job. It was very intense. And I thought, okay, actually, like I really thought everything was a lot of work, and it is 100%, but we are marketers. We are not surgeons. We are not saving lives. So the biggest thing that I would say is when you go into a role, don't overthink things too much. That's something that I did. It's not a specific thing that I ever did, but every little thing that I did in that role, I overthought all of the time. And there's a thing that I see on TikTok recently that I absolutely love. And it said, as marketers, we're saving PDFs, not lives. And I think that is so true. And when you go into your first role, it can feel so overwhelming. But if you just take a step back, just have a little breath. You'll be fine. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's not a big marketing mistake. It's just when I went into the industry, I felt so overwhelmed with it. And that's something that I'd say you do not need to be at all because it's such a nice industry.
Thank you. Another one from Alexandra. Do you have any advice for people who want to become marketing analysts?
Okay, so with analysts, it's a little bit different. I think it's a hard job to just get straight into off the back of having no experience or even just having a degree because it's quite specialist. So I'd say what you want to do is get into a generic role, such as, an assistant role, so like marketing assistant or something like that. And when you get into that, take an interest in your company, in the analytics, in the reporting, in all of that sort of thing, and talk to people within that organization. Tell them how interested you are in analyst, becoming an analyst. And then hopefully, if they're supportive of you, they'll push you in that right direction. I'll be honest, you can't just kind of get a degree or just get some experience and then become an analyst when you're junior. Typically, you need to have a little bit of experience behind you. So I'd say get a generic role and take an interest in the analyst stuff that they are doing. And before you know it, you'll be in an analyst role.
Super. And remember, we also have really good analytics courses, free courses on the Summer Academy. If you're interested, you can check it out. Really, really useful, especially that in just 6 days, the Universal Analytics are something. So I want to switching to Google Analytics 4. So there's a really good course of that one. Another question, Olivia, is from Tamilini. Hi, both. What advice would you give a person working as admin and marketing assistant and not sure what they want to specialize in? Thank you.
I think advice that I would give is to figure out what you enjoy, because if you enjoy it and it's a strength, then you ultimately will flourish in it. What I've said to people in the past is do a SWOT analysis on yourself. So SWOT analysis, if you aren't familiar and have never heard of it, is your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. So we normally do a SWOT analysis on a business before we do a marketing strategy, but you can do it on yourself as well. So when you look at your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats, you're thinking about what are the good things, what are things I enjoy, what am I good at, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses. So if, for example, you're admin and marketing assistant, maybe you absolutely love planning and implementing social media, but you really hate in the spreadsheets. So if the spreadsheets is a weakness, but the social media is a strength, then you want to go down more of the marketing path. Whereas if you are someone who really enjoys the spreadsheets, really enjoys the admin side, picking up the phone, talking to people, organizing diaries, project management, then you can go down that angle as well. That's the best thing that I would say for either of those is figure out what you want to do a SWOT analysis on yourself. And once you've done that, you'll be able to specialize in the area that you want to specialize in.
Great. Thanks, Olivia. Another question is massive topic. We should have a separate webinar on that altogether. Thank you, Patrick. What advice do you have for new individuals to overcome imposter syndrome, especially considering I'm finishing my master's?
So I love to keep what I call smile file on my phone or on my laptop, which is all of the good stuff that I've done or all of the things I'm proud of that I've done in a file. And whenever I feel like an imposter or whenever I feel down about anything, I always go into this smile file. And obviously, it puts a smile on my face. And I actually got that advice from the amazing Fiona Bradley, who was on our Girls in Marketing podcast. And she came on it about 3 years ago now. So ever since she said that to me at the podcast, I have kept a smile file. And whenever I feel like an imposter, I always go on and I see all of the amazing stuff that I've done, all of the amazing people I've impacted, all of the feedback that I've got. And to be honest, I had a smile file in university. I didn't call it a smile file, but I just had a happiness file. And whenever I got really great feedback of tutors or I had good marks on something, I always put it into a file and it made me feel really nice and good about myself. So if I ever felt like an imposter, I can go on there and suddenly it feels so much better and it allows you to smile and be grateful for everything and all of the opportunities that you have.
I love this Maya file. I'm so starting one now. Thank you. Let's take a final question, final couple of questions. We've got one from LinkedIn again. Olivia, who is your one marketing guru?
Oh, okay. So there are tons of people that I absolutely love. But I have to give a shout out to a CRM and email marketing person that we work with. So her name is Beth O'Malley. She is the queen of CRM and email marketing. We released some content with her earlier on in the year. We've done tons of stuff with her. I work with her really closely, but she knows her stuff. Whenever I speak to her, I am in awe of everything that she says. So I would definitely say check her out on LinkedIn. Her name is Beth O'Malley. She does loads of stuff on email and CRM. So if that's something that you're interested in, she is definitely guru in that area, and I would definitely recommend that you check her out.
Super, we will do. Thank you so much, Olivia. Okay, guys, so we are 4 minutes away from finishing the webinar. Thank you so much. Thank you, Olivia. It's been a pleasure hosting you. Super happy. Semrush Academy is now collaborating with Girls in Marketing, and not only on the marketing course we did with Olivia, that is on our Semrush Academy, but as Olivia mentioned, Girls in Marketing are running wonderful free programs. One in July. I think applications are already closed, Olivia, for the Digital Marketing Growth Program. But as most of you are looking for your first marketing job, there's a great program starting in September. Check it out on Girls in Marketing. Is the Girls in Marketing internship program. So we're also super happy to collaborate on that one with you. Thank you so much. We all wish you a wonderful night, evening, morning, for wherever you're joining. Stay tuned for more news and feel free to check out the Semrush Academy courses. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Olivia.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.